So if you have questions, start typing them in. Let me get to the emails here. Okay, I've gone back and reviewed a lot of things and asked some questions on the Facebook Strat. I'm now finishing week 3 of the videos. However, still have questions regarding actionable. Actionable's any 2 and different ways on the 3. In one video you say that's why the first 2 weeks I was very adamant, just train your mind to see the signals. That's correct. So I get it that actionable signals are very important. That's correct. However, given the critical importance of their actionable signal, I think it's reasonable that there is a clear definition of what is actionable. I stand that potentially actionable may represent a spectrum of potential actionability, new word, with some signals stronger than others, but even a spectrum can be described. So far I'm struggling with the nuances of this actionable issue. In your email to me you replied any 2 is actionable. That's right. It's a matter of how actionable. In video 3 of week 2, 12 minutes, you say to be an actionable signal it has to be a hammer or a shooter. Well, we've gone on to scenarios. So any 2 can be actionable. It's a matter of is it directional, is it a reversal, and that's why we want to try and take reversals. Start with reversals, and that's why I always start people off with a 2-2 or 2-1-2 on like the SPY. Like today, all you had to do 2-2 reversal right here, 2 down, 2 up, right? Boom, and then 2 up, 2 down, right there, and there's your whole day right there. Doesn't stop out, goes up and goes down. So let me get my glasses on here. So despite paying careful attention to your verbiage, I do not recall ever heard you say RevStrat is actionable. Oh, def. That's a 2. Yeah, that's a reversal. Even a 1 bar which does not contain a hammer or shooter, although everything else in your videos implies that RevStrats are potentially high actionable. Right, no, definitely. Bullish kicking and bearish kicking as being signals in the same section where you talk about hammers and shooters, but you never specifically say they are actionable. Oh yeah. Anytime that we have a reason to believe something's going to work, that's actionable on the 2 or the 2 goes 3. Have a more clear definition of actionables. 2. Under the appropriate conditions, time frame commodity, these are powerful actionables. Yeah, well, if we had, he's asking me about the difference between the strength of the signals. If we had a more powerful signal, we'd just take that. That's all we do, right? But because of the way things set up in different positions in the broadening formation, we can have bigger magnitude. It doesn't mean it's going to go there though, right? But if one was more powerful than the other, we just do that. But it's always changing based on how it's set up with other things. And by this I mean like a simultaneous break might not be everything inside and down. It might be 2-2 reversals combined with 2-1-2 continuations, all that. So there's more of it to that. Otherwise we just trade the most powerful. So understanding the scenario vids, very important. So when you're going through the original class, remember we got to steroids. Once we got to understanding the scenarios and the combinations thereof, what's a reversal, what's a continuation, right? And that's why when you watch the halftime show a lot, oftentimes I'll be like right there, right there, right there to keep pointing it out. So I hope that helps. Got another email coming here. Once again, anybody else, keep typing in. We got, okay. New to the VTF and have been watching YouTube Strat vids. I want to learn to use a Strat scalp futures. 1 minute chart. Okay. Is the 1 minute too short? If you're good, no. But it's, I would recommend doing what I just showed you, the 30s and 60s to start off. Then once you understand the triangles, you can time it with the 1s, 3s, 5s, all you want to get in. Okay, it's question 2. I'm looking for an hour, day, weekly charts for backdrop only because of me, but 5, 15, and 30 for entry exit time. Continuity for viewing scalping trades. That's fine. So I guess what I want to know is time frame for scalping, and what time frames would you say for time frame continuity? Well, if you stick with full time frame continuity, you're going to be good, all right? If you stick with the reversals on the 30-60s, you're going to be good, and then you can take it down and be more surgical once the 60 kicks in, like into here. Then you can cut it down and find your way in on the 3, 5, 1er. I'm good with that. And let's see. Andrea, Rob, even though time frame continuity is in my favor, would it be wise to just completely avoid stocks that are inside weak regardless of the color of the candle? Yeah, I would say that. You know, I mean, if it's close or like the magnitude of the daily would take it out, you could take it. But if you just want to eliminate that, I don't have a problem with that at all. And Steve, should we always include the wicks of all bars? Yes. Only just sometimes the main body. Problem is lately the wicks have been very whippy and volatile, make a clear signal sometimes. It's going to happen. Welcome to the VIX, right? But it counts. It happened. And Fred, new guy, welcome, welcome. I would stick with the 30s and 60s while you're starting. And so for longer term swings, you want to make sure you have either like the yearly, quarterly, or monthly going your way and have something like that. And time it, try and time it with the weekly, daily to time it, but having the monthly, because you've seen what the months have done, right? Like Amazon, the months that we knew about, the 2-2 reversals, just exploded, right? So we knew about that. So when you have stuff like that, a reversal on yearly, quarterly, monthly, maybe even a weekly, and as long as it's good, you can add to it, you can reduce, you can do whatever you want, as long as that signal's still in force. And then you can, like something like Amazon, you could, let's say that you got it down in here, whatever, and go to the weekly, say, whoa, this thing's cranking. I'm like, all right, don't want to give it too much, and I'll say maybe go down to a daily PSAR. And it doesn't mean you have to get out. It just tells you the time has passed, and you can reevaluate it. Are you close to a reversal on the weekly? Are you, something like that. So you can see his PSAR catching up, because if you go to the weekly, like on something like this, you're nowhere near a reversal on this. Now you might give some back, right? And you might say, I'm not going to do that, but there's nowhere near a reversal. If anything, that would go inside and then dump, right? It doesn't mean it can't drop into here, and that's why you could watch this to give you a heads up on what you want to do. But if that makes sense. Okay, good. And Tony, is the 60 still main control group for the futures? It is right now, yeah. We're still high. What's the VIX at here? Let's take a look. Oh, I'm going to see. Make sure I didn't get any more questions in the email here. Oop, got another one. Okay. A couple of questions. Do you ever get back in a setup? If the setup triggers and you get in the stock, immediately reverses, but a few minutes trades back, yes, we call that doing battle. If you have every reason to believe something's going to work and it stops you out, it's micro try. If you get another setup, take it again. If we have every reason to believe it's going to go, definitely. Because that's a big problem that people have. They'll be like, oh, I tried it and got stopped out, didn't work, I'm going to go look for another one. I'm like, no. If there was that reason that you were trying to get in is still valid, do battle. Should someone stick to one time frame like 15s instead of bouncing around a few different like 5s, 15s, and 30s? If you're going to stay on anything, stay on the 60. It might be a little boring, but stay on the 60. And GC, when a signal hits, I'm fearful of taking a loss, so move my stop up quickly to break even or small profit to offset slippage. How can I know when a signal is going to take off versus come back in? Usually, the good ones just go. Right, and so then people will get nervous, because people get nervous when things go their way real fast too. Feel like they got to take something off the table, and so also checking with me, right? Because always check with me if you have any doubts or anything, or need to stop, or what's going on. Because you'll hear me say one of two things. Here's the problem with that, and that doesn't mean you don't take it. It just might have an issue like an exhaustion risk or something like that, and or I'm going to say every reason to believe that's going to work. And then when you're going to ask me where it's going, I'm going to say it's going up there unless you have a reversal against you. Right? Like I said with Amazon, maybe you get this to go shooter 2-2 down here because we're starting off a new week. But on a weekly basis, if you were in from down here, you're fine. And so that's why also TC might like the Rev Strats, the 2-bar Rev Strat, because we look to take out those 3 levels of stops, right? As opposed, so gauging your magnitude, 3 2-2s, stuff like that, and 2-2 to form a compound 3, so you have more magnitude on it. And if that makes sense. Okay. Because I was going to, I'm still trying to work on getting the new videos out. My uncle passed away on Sunday. I was going to come in, and so bear with me. I'm going as fast as I can. And how do we tell if a hammer or shooter is bullish or bearish when it comes to a rev strat? Well, a shooter countering a 1, we're going after that below that, and a shooter and a hammer countering a 1, bullish going to the other way. TVIX 60 minutes. Well, here you got your INO. So here you go. In the vid, Rev Strat Week. Inside hammer, bam. Take these guys out. See this? Right there. Took the magnitude right out. Because these guys stop, trigger them, then we don't know, and then you can see how it comes in. All right. Okay. 60-minute TVIX. Ta-da! 2-2 down. 2-2 back up. Boom! Right here. Over 228.59. Best way to play the morning gappers list, 30s and 60s. And then the better you get, the more you can do. When is the best time to add to a position after a 2? Wait after maybe a couple 2s? Well, ideally you want to get a reversal first, and then you can add on a continuation. So if you get like a 2-2 reversal or a 2-1-2 reversal and you get that, then you can go after the continuation on the add. If you have another inside bar, it's going to go 2-1-2 up. You can do that. Or you can just sit there and wait for triangles and say, I'm just going to wait for my 5-minute to give me any reversal back in that direction. Not everybody's that aggressive is the problem, so it's kind of a personal thing on how you want to go about it, but making sure you're trading signals. Otherwise, you got people just add like crazy. Okay. And Jamie, Rob, to swing something like Amazon, what would you use to get in? Daily? I wouldn't mind, but the spreads and stuff usually keep me away, or really small size. Yeah, so you could use any time frame as long as you don't get stopped out, right? You can go daily, you can go, it's not for everybody. You can use the weekly, or you can use the monthly and say, boo, as long as this thing's up in here, I'm going to let this baby rock. And the combinations, yeah, here, read this. Okay. Read that, and we'll get the other videos for you, the scenario videos. You would definitely want to watch that. You may say, I know people, or I am one of those people that makes money off of these things that you're talking about. And what I'm going to show you is you're not making money for the reasons you think you are. So basically, people that are following this stuff are good risk managers, and that's a good thing. And one more second. Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith of the Black Quant Edge VTF here, T3 Live, and as fun as the greatest story ever sold. And this. There you go. And Rick, I use TC2000. They have 60 minutes at the top of the hour versus the bottom of the hour. Should I use the 30 minutes and visualize the 60? Yes. Train your mind. And the 60 is still a valid signal, even though it's on the top of the hour. I have people who trade both of those, just like trading sideways 30s too. And TC, when you get a few 15ers going nowhere, okay, and get a few 1s and 2s, but then it goes bam and rockets or dumps, give us insight that will happen? Yeah, the greater tries and what's going on in the longer time frames. Some people it takes longer to visualize the tries. Once you see them, you'll see them in everything. And then you'll see them when they're really too tight, right? Because what will happen, and this may have happened to some of you before, is you're trading something because it's tight range and you can have a tight stop, but it keeps stopping you out. And then by the time it really moves, you're nowhere to be seen, right? We know that's going to happen, right? And that's what happens when people are trading or make a little, give it all back. If you start messing with threes and get killed, they get used to a certain amount of volatility and a certain amount of movement, and then that range expands and they get carried out. And Jim Shoe, an execution recommendation stops you put it 1 cent below the bar that triggers right. And so let's say you got an inside 5 to the upside, you can go up to the bottom of the 5-minute bar that broke the inside bar. And I actually teach 1 cent below the bid when you go in there, just so you talk to me and I know what you guys are thinking and doing. Because I want to know your thought process, because you'll hear me call directly to certain people because I know exactly what they do, right? So don't be afraid to, I can't teach during the day, but I certainly can answer questions about what we're doing, why we're doing it, where to do it. And Andrea, earliest you could take a signal, Miss Marta, you could go pre-market if you want to, as long as the signal's good. Solid part of the wick. I mean, there's no difference between the solid real bodies and the wick. They're still the range. It's a matter of how they line up to what's the next two, right? Yeah, email here. Stop at the bottom of the month. Yeah, you could tighten it if you're good with that. I would say tighten it up, on a shorter time frame. Like once the monthly goes, you can go off the bottom of like the weeks or the days or however you want to do it. And just like anything else, we don't want to lose, right? We want to get a winning position and we want to stay in a winning position. That's why you'll hear me say like still going, still good, right? And people are just aching to sell their winners always. And if there's no reason to get out, there's no reason to get out. Right? If anything, add. And how do you deal with the situation where you are long a setup, it moves up, but now has huge, large inside molar bar issues? How do you decide when to get out so you don't get chopped up? Any reversal against you? Yeah. So you just watch the 60s and you get molar bar problems. Ouch. Oh, this is not my first question, Rodeo. Okay. And triangle at means we're now going inside a compound molar bar? No. Do we individually decide whether to play the try or not based on this? What I'm telling you is that you're about to see, you have seen or about to see a reversal. Triangle the out, boom, hit it. Triangle the out, boom, corrective activity. So here, stop mount, TVIX 60. There you go. Here's your molar bar issue in TVIX. Go back and forth. Get your 60, try the out. Boom. You see this? These 3 bars are an outside bar of these 2. Triangle them out. There's your try. Lower low, higher high. So here they try them out and off they go. That means we get reversal. Triangle the out. That's something you want to look for in the direction that we want. Because they triangle them out, they always will. Okay. Oh boy. Got the email. SQ's fine. So, question is, can you get out of here? Weekly goes up, you still mother bar issues. You got out of here, but you came back into the range. So you want to get back out of here for one. SQ. So far, no reversal. No, so still being inside month, right? Handily. The weekly, this is continuation. It's not a reversal. Okay, so you want to be aware of that. Right? You're not trading a reversal. This was the reversal, the 2-2. Then the inside 2-1-2. Now it's going for a second continuation to try and get up in here. And you're getting later in the month, and you're still inside month. So you want to be aware of that. Daily pokes up, but comes back in. So the question is, you're going to go inside 6. Here's your triangle the out right here. Triangle the out, back down. Now you closes in inside 60, so we'll have to see how that goes. You need a rebreak of that. Okay, if we're getting ready to take 60 or 30 signal and see that on a fiver there has been some 2s, should we wait for a pullback on the fiver? Yeah. That's why you kind of want to look at the guts of it. Where are you in the whole tri-series? And so, because what you'll see, like in a mother bar issue kind of thing, you'll see like where something, or like an inside bar, if you look at the guts of it, like these monthlies, which I'll be doing here shortly in the end of the month, you want to see it. It's like it's an inside month, but if it just roared through a daily try to get up there, right? That's not ideal, right? We want to have the tries where they line up to break it out, if that makes sense. Okay. I'll be hammer counter shooter or shooter counters hammer. So Momo would be a Momo hammer going, means that you're going directly into some highs. Momo shooter means you're going directly into some lows. They got to work. So this is a regular shooter. Amazon daily is shooter counters hammer. So even though, because since we just started a new week and couldn't take that out, if it takes this out tomorrow, because we know outside bars exist, as long as that continuity on which would change the weekly, right, and the 60 and the daily red, we'd be looking to take this out and become a 2-day outside bar. So Momo is here, going directly into the highs. You see this? And that can be very powerful, but you have to be aware of exhaustion on that. And the reason you do is because the reason it works. The reason the Momo hammer works is that anybody who's short in here got jammed. And then you match that up with real buyers, and it explodes. Shorts covering, buyers buying, right? But once that's over, then I don't know. So you got to defend those too. As soon as that's over, I defend like hell on that. This happened to be the end of the day, but... Of course, you say a 1-bar rev strat is at an immediate risk of broadening formation, since the rev strat is also a fractal broadening. Correct. And an outside bar. Once a 3, always a 3 can't not be. It is for this reason that we highly prefer combinations of actionable signals that would trigger the rev strat right. So it can still go 3-2, but it's got to go because you're dealing with a 3. Otherwise, you can get 3-3 and get destroyed. And so what I'm saying, are you saying in the 1-bar rev strat, don't even wait for it to complete? No, you don't. No, as soon as that bar changes color and starts to go outside, right there. And you can use shorter time frames, yes. And confirmatory signals, 1, the impending rev strat, the actual stuff. Yeah, you can go like that. Yeah, you can go down that road. You can go as soon as it goes. If we're expecting it to rev strat because it's countering continuity, you can go as soon as it goes back into the previous range. You can go after it right as soon as the color changes, because then the possibility of 3 increases. and you can look for shorter term time frames to reconfirm that stuff. Rev Strat 5 back into continuity, coming through previous range. Yep. Thought about getting out of SQ at 212 down 60, but saw time frame. So, well, continuity on the 60 is going to change. Right? Here your 60 goes back red. That's a problem. You'll remember when this happened, I was explaining, and I said that you're going to see a tone change once the S&P has a reversal. We certainly did. Yes, Amazon moves around enough to be able to do that. You just want to be aware of it. Because at this point, Amazon still inside, right? But look at this range. The bigger the range, the more likely you can take it. But if you, like you said, if you're not going to trade anything inside week, don't do it. Say that's not me. Have at it, Amazon boys. Because I know like people want like universal best signals and all that kind of stuff. Everybody's using this differently, and so once you understand the magnitude really well, there'll be people trading options, scalping in and out, using the 5 minutes and stuff like that on Amazon, stuff like that, and be doing fine. All right. So that's why it's important to get down your universe, what's going to work for you, and be like, dude, I'm not doing that. I'm like, that's fine. I'm good with that. And shooter comes after the hammer. No, looking go down. Shooter down, hammer up. And another thing I don't want people to do is train their minds that hammers are bullish and shooters are bearish. That's not necessarily true, right? It's the confirmation thereof. Because what can happen is people get focused and say shooters are bearish, right? Well, not necessarily. What all this means is that they stopped some guys out, some buyers stepped up, but then they backed off. Now the buyer could return tomorrow and start taking this thing up, right? That could happen, right? But if it takes this out, we know we got a trapped group, these guys. And we got long yesterday's no trapped. So in and of themselves, they're not bullish or bearish unless they confirm. Yeah, well, Jim Shue with the 33% in general, because now that we have scenarios, it's not as important, right? It's a 2-2 reversal. It's a that. It's that. Now that we have scenarios, you don't have to sit there and do that. Tis what it is as far as the scenarios are concerned. Add if you're at a profit, yeah, that's key. Like I said, you got some other bar issues, and now how are you going to get out of here? And then you're going to start over tomorrow as an inside 60 to start the day. Send me an email. I'll get you what I got. Or go to the Facebook group. A lot of help there. Rules regarding minimum share price or minimum share volume. That's up to you. T3 will tell me not to get you into anything that doesn't trade at least 250,000 shares. So I will pull back on calling anything like that. But that's up to you. Shooter counters hammer of shooter and hammer. Yeah, it's still going to be a 2-2-2 continuation. That's the key part of that. 2-2-2. 2 up, 2 down, 2 up. Chop them out, get them going, or 2 down, 2 up, 2 down. So if you stick to the 33%, I'm good with that. That makes sense. Anybody who bought Amazon today? these guys. Anybody who bought Amazon today goes underwater here tomorrow. Right there. Every last one of them. That's where they're likely to start covering. If you're long, that's where some stops will be. And if you didn't have a stop in and it starts getting worse, that's something we'd want to know about. It's also a reversal. Tried to take it up, now we're going to try and take it down. It's important not to visualize charts as, a chart. They're groups of people, participation groups. Okay. Regarding placing stop, how is the best way to enter a stop order super fast? Hotkeys. Hotkeys, yeah. So you can enter your order that enters your stop at the same time. And the slower you are, the less you need that. But if you're trading actively, you want to have that boom, 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 boom. Also, when you do that, you're more likely to, pretty much everybody should have a hotkey. Because also when you have hotkeys, you're more likely to do battle. It's tiring to type something in and put your stop in, get stopped out, buy it again, to get stopped out, put your stop in, that's tiring. But if you got hotkeys, you're just like, nope, that's still good. Boom, boom. Most of them should have it. And who might you be with? I might be able to tell you off the top of my head, or if you guys go to the Facebook group, people can really help. That's what that's all about over there. What software provides access to have multiple windows showing multiple stocks and multiple time frames? Do any of these allow you, when you input new stock name? TradingView, Thinkorswim. Pretty much everybody should be. Because you want to have the time frames. TradingView does not? Okay. Well, you always want to be looking at all the multiple time frames. What am I up against? Pro version does? Okay. That's key. Because otherwise you get caught in what I call the vortex. And you get caught in the vortex of the intraday chart. Then you get chopped up, and by the end of the day, you look at the other charts and you realize you've been trading an inside day all day. And keep getting stopped out with such a tight stop. I got to know what you're doing. No, the hammer's countering it. It comes after it. Hammer countered by shooter. Or a shooter countered by a hammer. Yeah, Bill, please do. I can solve problems. I just got to know what it is. Good thing is you're not getting killed. Just getting stopped out, that's going to happen. That's the first thing I said when I came to T3 when I got on the headset. I'm like, all right, everybody, I'm going to teach you how to not get killed. They're like, well, what about making money? I'm like, we'll get to that. First, you got to learn how to not get killed. A lot of people have a problem with that. Because at least if you're getting stopped out, it means you're having the discipline of putting your stop in. That's a good thing. Bullish kicking pattern is 2 bars, a down followed by an up. When does it go in force? It should gap. So you'll hear me oftentimes say variation, kicker variation, right? So in theory, you'd want to have almost like 90% of the candle in red and then gap above that, or vice versa. Don't know it'll be large. Yeah, but we know everybody's trapped and everybody's blown out. That's why that works. Yeah, it's right out the chute. So if you get it to tick down at all and then goes back into continuity, you can buy it right there. You can use 1 minute, stuff like that. Every reason to believe that's going to work. Slippage, not much you can do except take your size down and trade more liquid stuff. All of the futures or what have you. And depending, also ordering a limit like above the offer instead of going market, just having it set to take it, 1 or 2 cents over or whatever. So at least you get something, but you don't get crushed. A continuation triangle, that means the price has continuity in one direction. There's been a reversal and it's going back our way. So we've had corrective activity. We're back in the controlled continuity. And I'll show examples when I say stuff like that too. This is a shooter counters hammer. Shooter is countering the hammer. And there you go, Facebook page, please. A lot of this stuff can really be cleared up for a lot of people doing this in a lot of software that can help. Okay. Hit him again. It's called a stop limit. Okay, for now, I'm going to get to the email here. We got 19 questions coming, so. Okay. We hear the VTF, PDD to the highs, AMD to the highs. What do we do with this information? Okay, what that is I'm just giving you color on the market. And oftentimes, I can also remind you. Sometimes I'm reminding you, and I will say, here you go, AMD, what's it doing on the month? We'll let Nathan take this one. What's that? That'd be hammer counter shooter. Right? The other way around. Hammer, counter, shooter. There you go. And so that's a monthly in force. That's something we want to know about. Right? And so is good. Right? And so when I'm doing that, I'm not only bringing certain things to your attention, I'm giving you color of what's going on. Right? That's going to the highs, and I might say per the vid. Or AMD going to the highs, that can alert you to semiconductors, a bunch of different things. And also during the day when I'm speaking, a lot of times I'm trying to figure out what's going on until I can narrow it down, right? So that's all I'm doing is statement of fact. That's going to the highs, right? And then you can say, okay, well, is AMD on our watch list? Sure is, because the hammer counter shooter. So that can put it on your watch list depending on how you're trading and jumping around. Right, and be like, okay, AMD's hitting some highs. We'll wait for them to triangle the out, and then I can get in. Okay, you told that any 2 is actionable. What about a 3? In the course, you told the outside bar is not actionable signal. It is now. That's the scenarios we took it up. The scenarios you can take 3 2s. Has 3 become actionable since then? I think we covered that on where you can do that. How many bars do you usually stay in the position? Please clarify instead of telling me as many as possible. I ask this because you tell first to build a winning position, don't go full at first, add when possible. So what percentage of the position you buy initially? Well, first, I would say that it's like everybody's different as far as risk tolerance and size account, right? So when you're starting off, you can start with the small position and just learn where you would add. And you also want to be able to gauge magnitude, right? Where's this thing going, right? If I don't have a reversal, where can I expect it to go? So if you look at this, we're expecting this to go to highs. Unless you get a reversal on this thing, which I do not have, right? Do not have a reversal on the weekly. You are potential 3 back in. That would alert me to that. But so long as you have that and then can gauge magnitude. So let me see, there's something I want to say here. There's ONEM, here you go. So like when this goes 2 and goes 3 out here on the weekly, we're going to take this out, right? So it's really more of a gauging magnitude. And when you start, you don't have to start by learning how to add. You want to start on creating winning positions, right? And seeing where you would add, because you will. Over time, you're going to see, right? Triangle out, still good on the longer term stuff. I can go after a 5-minute reversal. I can go after a 1-minute reversal. It's a matter of everybody's skill levels as they go along. So. If you've been rev stratted, are you opening a position to the opposite side? Yes, you can definitely do that depending on the difference on the time frame. Like there's certain things we're expecting to rev strat, right? Because it's countering time frame continuity, so we're expecting those failures, right? But if it's a 60 major signal or a weekly major signal like that, yeah, if you're willing to take the initial one, be willing to take the rev strat. That's how you get your money back and then some often. Okay, now. And how many trades do I take personally? I've got help, so don't worry about me. It's not about this is not me. It's about you. What is your winning percentage and average winner? It's not about that. It's about slugging average. Getting out of your losers and staying in your winners as long as you can. Are there anybody scalping 1 or 5-minute time frames all day long? Yeah, and like I said, you're just gonna have to, when you do that, you're combining all the time frames, you're understanding the magnitude. You see guys like Hayes jumping oneers all day, right? But don't try and do what other people do, but listen to what they say. How would you pick candidates for leaps other than longer term swing trades? Candidates for leaps, probably you'd be looking at the macro lists, your yearly and quarterly, right? Okay. And how do you scan for actionable signals on Thinkorswim? Can anybody share those scans? Yes. The code should be on a worksheet, or if you go to the Facebook group, you can get the codes there. Somebody else posted some more stuff. Okay. What does that mean when you say inside 60 on SPY Q's diamonds? When it starts breaking simultaneous break, that means they've gone an inside bar on the 60-minute chart. And yeah, hopefully we get a simultaneous break when we get SPY Q's diamonds all going inside at the same time. What would you do if you had a small account? Trade small. No hero. No need to be a hero. How do you trade the first week of the month as 2 of the major time frames reset? Well, that's why, like today in the video, what I'll say is that, and there you go. There's an email. It'll take care of you. And it's that we don't. It's not that we don't trade until things uncouple. We just want to be aware of that. Like, so we will be looking for what's the next 2 on a bunch of stuff, right? How close is the next 2 of the week and the month is when it's resets. How do you trade before the 11:30? There's only the first trigger. 60 could go 2-2 right away, or it could go 2 goes 3 right away. And if you're just trading on the 60s, kick back. A rev strat takes 3 hours to set up on the 60 on a 2 bar. So you know. Are there times in the day not to trade? Or you prefer not to trade, like lunch hour after? No, when things are going inside, whenever that may be. Because if you had that rule, you would have missed the biggest moves on the down. The biggest moves are in the close on the way down. To the upside, I'll have you know. What do you think about tightening stops or setting targets near 25.50? Nah. I have no problem with you moving your stop up if that's what you want to do. But like if you're at a profit and it's still good, you don't sell the whole thing, right? You can cut back, but if you're still profitable and have reason to believe that it's just going to triangle out and go back again, cut it, and then you can add on the next reversal, add back in. Two up, two down, two up, actionable signal? Yes. That's a continuation. It's a reversal of the reversal. And how do you enter orders? Buy stop for long or sell stop? Right. Like I said, if you can go limit through the offer or through the ask. To understand it correctly, Strat works best at the correct location, bottom or top of trend when coupled with time frame and actionable signals. Well, it wouldn't be a matter of best. It would be potential magnitude. And 16 monitors. Do you have multiple time frames of one stock per monitor? No, I have usually 15-minute charts up of, whatever, 100 and something stocks, and that's why I'm constantly, when you hear me say going around the horn, then I'm switching to 30s and 60s. But in general, I have, I'll always have a 60 SPY up. I'll have, all the major groups and the stocks in the major groups up, so I can see them as a whole, the transports, the industrials, all that's doing. I put the gappers 30-60s up. When I'm going and scanning and looking for the 30s or the 60s, I'm typing them in. So come see me someday. That's why we had the pilgrimage. People come see me, and you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay. Okay. So. If we're trading 15-30 signals, do we draw the tries on all three? Or can we just do it on the 15 or 60? Well, you want to have the bigger ones too. So when you're drawing them, how far is something going to go? Right? Let's go back to our AMD. That's always fun. Triangle that. Here's your weekly 2-2. Right? Something like that. Let's see what's that. And up into here, so let's see. And quickly on the magnitude. All right, so with the reversal, so let's say this 2-2 here. On a 2-2 reversal, the magnitude should take this out to form the outside bar. The problem with tight, like here, like SQ, here. The problem with this is the magnitude's just here. That's it. Take that out, then we don't know. Maybe it takes that and goes up here. The magnitude is the inside bar break is going to take these guys out. Then we don't know. And it wasn't strong enough to do that. So and that's why when you have the outside bar forming, like SPY monthly, right? The magnitude when this went red is to take this out here, right? And form the outside bar. And hopefully it does all this. Something like APA. Outside bar countered with shooter. Boom. As long as you don't have a reversal against you, you're going to take that out. W did it. Here. Outside bar shooter. It's going to, when it takes that, it's going to go all the way and take that out. Right? So now when you have this 2-2, we're looking to take that out. Because now these two are an outside bar of that. So you want to be able to train your mind to see outside bars that aren't there. Okay. Right, and so with the SPY today, 60. Two reversal. We're looking to take this out unless we get a reversal against us, which we got here. Then when this takes this out, we're looking to take that out. at least this, but hopefully that, to form the outside bar. So these three are an outside bar of that, and these four are an outside bar of these. Do I ever use level 2 to gauge market depth? No. Lies in there. A bunch of lies. I don't trust those guys. Jamming the box. Like, Fred, if you're already successful doing something that's working for you, just keep doing it, and the strat will make you better. But if it's confusing at all, don't do it. Okay. Super noob question. Get through the course video first and then. You know, like I said, the stuff that I put in there, if you read that, that gets you up to speed pretty fast. Or if you listen to what I'm saying and pull things up, oftentimes I'll tell people that if you have like something that's really active and you watch a 5-minute chart, you'll see this stuff happen all day long. So here you go. There's your 3, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 reversal, 2, 2 continuation, 2, 2 reversal, chopping them up. 3. Now these guys are a mess. 3, 2. All right. And with weekly options, it's just knowing the tries, really. And, you know, the Greeks aren't my level of expertise. That doesn't hurt, right? You'll see Dave do that a lot, Dave D2. Know the tries. Where's your magnitude? Where's this thing going? Right? When is this occurring? And John, regards to position sizing, what size trades do you take as a percentage of the account? Well, that would change just depending on the size of the account, right? Because I got $1 million, I'm not going to say 10%, right? What I would say is something reasonable that you're going to be comfortable with, just to learn, because the confidence goes up, right? Because then once you learn to add, then we want to start pressing, right? When you have a trend, something really trending. And that's also when I say position down. It's like I have no problem. Like when people are like, I can't trade Tesla; it's too expensive. I don't care if you trade 5 shares. I don't care if you trade 1. It moves around, right? So there's going to be different stuff depending on different levels of volatility, different vehicles that you'll be doing. Yeah, a little too confusing. There you go. Yeah, Tony, I have a tendency to make things more difficult than they should be. Don't overthink it. Right, the simplicity. And like I said, stick with your rules. Right, you have a set of rules. Right. Be like, I'm not trading anything. Andrew says, I'm not trading anything still inside week. I'm like, I'm totally good with that. I'm not touching anything that doesn't have full time frame counting. I'm good with that. Right. So before you're trading this and you're just listening during the day and studying, just follow along and look at the signals I'm pointing out during the day, or what am I calling? And Reggie, pre-market, you said, mentioned hard day to be short. It's like you were right. It's like the bearish kickers failed, right? What were you looking at? I've just the nature of the action that we've seen this whole way down. So if you go to SPY here, look at this, and the whole way down. Just in general, the market even was tough to be short even on the way down. Just look at this: gap down, rally back, gap down, gap up, in your face. Then you got some puke in here. That was nice. But then right when you thought you could totally puke it, gaps up here. right? And then boom, it's boom. So I mean, in general, this market has not been easy to be holding positions, well, in the futures anyway. But then today they're gunning everything. Like the SPY's doing almost nothing. Qs are still inside day, and all these stocks are rallying, and oil starts puking. So in general, I was just saying that it's been tough to be short, to stay short this market. Yeah. And then, like I said in the halftime show, once we get a reversal on the 60, we'll have a much better idea of what's going on. And we did. Right here, I was like, all right, maybe it goes blasting through, maybe it doesn't. But once we get a reversal here, then we'll talk. And the tone will change. What time frames do you look to add? You can look at a oneer if once you're good at it. Anything when I say triangle the out, any reversal. And Jamie, I've traded 5 shares of Tesla, only made $50. $50 on 5 shares, I'll take that. Because if you keep doing that, then you can build up and say, okay, now I'm doing 10, now I'm doing 20. Because you're training yourself how to do it, being like, okay, let's do it. If I'm in a trade, let's say short TQQ and has been 6-year down for 3 hours, and we're coming into a flip, and the price is near the low, but time is running down on the 60. I say cover. You can always get in on the flip. Yeah, TO. Yep. And a lot of good questions tonight. A lot of this, and the reason that all of us will tell you, it's like just keep seeing things our way. It becomes more clear over time. It takes some people just get it like that. Other people it takes a while. Don't worry if it takes time, right? But take it from somebody who wasted 20 years trying to figure out what charts mean. All right. Right? Once you understand the combinations of 1, 2, 3, and all that, and you keep seeing it, and you combine it with all the research I do and what I'm calling out during the day, you'll get it. Uh-huh. So, not clear on options, moving stops, and Jim Shoe, that's all going to be on your platform. Whoever you're trading through, call them and be like, "This is what I need to do," so I don't have to keep typing. Oh well, you can use PSAR. I'm good with that. Parabolic stop and reverse. Follow them around. Follow the bouncing PSAR. Look at that. I got my inside and down 15er, and I just let it ride out. So long as there's not a reversal against us on the longer term, which there is not. Technically still long on the 60, but the signal here is more key. So you get that reversal, and the 15 triggers that down. If you don't have a reversal on the 60, you can go 15 PSR and just ride her into the dirt. Still puzzled? It'll come because you just got here, right? I can't. As I tell people, I'm like, I can't turn you into put you through medical school in a week. But once you're a doctor, you can charge them whatever you want. Once you understand this stuff, because there is nothing else, because there can't be. So when you constantly are reviewing the video I make at night, the halftime show, what did I talk about, and then what happened in the afternoon, all right? I was very specific about a reversal here, that this is going to change things. Or we're going to go take out that, and then you go into exhaustion risk, right? and keep seeing things during the day. And if you need me to pull it up for you and be like, where's the try? I draw them all day long. But as you can see, it's not very hard once you see it. 2-2 reversal, 2-2 reversal. It's 2 trades right there. Right? And yeah, Tio, don't just take things just because you think. Communicate with me. Say the trades out loud. Why would I be doing this? Where's this thing going? Why am I doing it? Make sense? Okay, good. Good, because if you get the TradingView script, then it's got 1, 2, 3 right on it. And I think Morgan built a 1, 2, 3 for the Thinkorswim too. And then I'm doing a webinar on Sunday with TrendSpider. They've got our stuff in there too. And they've got it so the setups will show right up. You can search for 2-2s or anything like that. Because especially if you just got here and you haven't watched a whole series of weekend videos, in the weekend I go exactly where we want to be. Did we know about 2-2 monthly reversals all month? We did. TrendSpider 60s are at the bottom of the hour. Yes, they are. That was the first. It was so funny because Dan from TrendSpider lives 2 blocks from my office, and that's the first thing I asked him. And he's like, "Nobody's ever asked me that before." I was like, and they checked it. I was like, "Bottom." So here, if you want to check it out, here's a link for free TrendSpider. And the great thing about it is when you go into the, yes, it will do it in real time. That's a free link for you. And what the good thing is when you go into indicators, we're first because it's alphabetical and all of ours are numbers. So all the strat stuff's on top. It's awesome. I've just started working with it, so. Thank you. 11:30. Okay, so on that note, we're coming into about an hour here, a little bit over. We'll cut it here, and let's see, Kyle. When drawing tries, do you start with a 3 and a longer time frame? That helps, yes. Then move to the shorter time frame and find the higher highs and lower lows? Indeed. And then once over time, you'll see the compound 3s that aren't being presented to you, like these two. Here. If this was a 120, this is an outside bar of all this. All right. Well, we'll keep at it. And so if you're new and it takes some time, trust me, we'll get it to you. You'll figure it out. I've been doing this a long time. I've had some people that takes a while, and that's okay. All right, because we're going to do everything in our power to make sure you keep seeing things our way. All right. And you can call yourself in here whatever you want. Well, to a certain extent. Maybe I'll put my name as Robert Franklin Smith. Yeah, you can change your name. So, all right. On that note, let's cut the recording, and we do this every Monday, so it's all recorded. So. Keep them coming. Never too many questions. Never a stupid question. The stupid question is the one that doesn't get asked. So don't even worry during the day. I can't teach you during the day, but I certainly can direct you what's going on. Right? All right. On that note, let's wrap it up. And thanks for coming out, and we'll see everybody bright and early. All right. Good night.